start undressing, baby.
You do you. Do what you got to do there, pal.
I'm doing me.
Make it happen.
I'm doing me.
Yeah. Football
Week
weather.
13. It's Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
Big old happy Thanksgiving to you, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Jay.
I appreciate that. And a big old happy
Thanks for having
Thanksgiving
me.
to all you guys out there.
Absolutely, man. Week 13, here we are. Again, Thanksgiving Day. We're outside as usual. Tailgate, you can see our breath this morning.
A little chilly.
Yep, exactly.
Little chilly.
A lot of people are out there playing some Turkey Bowl games this morning.
Yeah.
People got their turkeys either on the grill or in the oven or what have you, but we got a little something special going on today.
We got a nice bird going
Absolutely,
down.
we do. So, yeah, it's one of my favorite days of the year, man.
You know, it is. It's such a great day. It's, the day where we're all giving thanks to everybody. And, no better way to spend it in the morning than with this guy.
Yeah.
And with
all
you
you.
guys.
Exactly
so
right.
it's going to be a good time. Definitely.
So, all right, having said all that, what you drinking here today on this special day?
I am drinking me a Sierra Nevada celebration because, you know what? Buffalo just pummeled Denver last
Christ's
week.
sake, here we
So
go.
I am celebrating a damn good Buffalo victory.
Wow.
So that's
Nice.
what I got going right now.
Cool. All right, so I am spreading a little holiday cheer from Shiner, Texas. I got the Shiner holiday cheer. Holidays are here, no denying anymore, right? Thanksgiving, late Thanksgiving this year, and everybody's going to be out Christmas shopping tomorrow, I'm sure.
That's right.
So happy holidays to y'all.
Cheers to you, brother.
Cheers, buddy. Nothing like a good old beer at 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
You betcha.
Woo!
Good way to start the day.
Hey, it's a football Sunday kind of.
Absolutely.
So, hey,
It is a
I'm
football
excited.
Sunday. We got 3 games on tap today, which we'll talk about all 3. And 3 other games in a week, which we usually bring in our 6-pack. So,
Yeah.
how about jerseys today? What's going on over there?
Little tight. Haven't brought this one out in a while. But it's 83. It's Andre Reed. And Buffalo is sitting pretty at 8-3. So
Oh,
this is
there
why
you go.
we're going with the Andre. Unfortunately, it's a little tainted. I got Rex Ryan's autograph on it.
Thought it smelled
Don't
like
ask.
feet.
It was my sister. She needed an autograph, and she was wearing it. And we were at the game, and you know what? Hey,
Yeah,
it's
there you
kind of
go.
what happened.
And over here, actually for the first time this year, I'm re-rolling a jersey out. Bears are on the road in Detroit on Turkey Day, so wearing the Bears away jersey. Brian Urlacher, Hall of Famer.
Very nice.
So,
For the second year in a row.
For
you
the
guys
second year in a
are
row,
Thanksgiving.
exactly. For a second year in a row, people want to see the shitty Lions and shitty Bears. I don't know.
You know,
So-
I'll never understand it because these guys, they're playing their 36th game today.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that. 36th game today. Buffalo hasn't played since 1994, and before that it was 76. So, you know, I don't understand how
Yeah,
they
25
do it.
years for Buffalo.
But, man.
Yeah. And, and we were talking about there is a team who has never played on Thanksgiving Day.
That's right. One team has never played on Thanksgiving, good old Turkey Day, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
So, a little history for you guys, and I don't think I'd want to watch them on Thanksgiving anyway.
Yeah,
so that's
no, I
just
don't
me,
think so.
you know?
I don't think so either. But, Bears-Lions, it's a division game. Anytime you get a division game, I don't care what division it is, it's always a little bit interesting. I know there are 2 bottom feeders in the NFC
Yeah,
North.
yeah.
But again, it's a division game. It's Thanksgiving. It's history and tradition on both sides. So, should be fun.
I'm looking forward to this Dallas-Buffalo game. I'm going to tell you right now. I mean, it's going to be exciting. I think Buffalo matches up really well with them, especially on defensive side of the ball. So, it should be a good game, and hey, we'll see who's in my 6-pack from Buffalo, because I do have one of my homers in there today.
There you go. All right. I stayed away from mine for a good reason. How did you end up in fantasy last week, buddy?
Oh, I ended up really good, actually. 4-2 in my leagues. Not too bad. My DFS, I went 2 out of 5 last week, but I'm sitting at 5-10 in DFS, so I'm kind of happy. But yeah, 4-2, looking good for playoffs in 3 and 2 other leagues. Though I'm needing to do some work. So we'll see what happens today because, hey, we got playoffs starting next week.
Playoffs, that's right. It's week 13,
Yeah.
so a lot of people are trying to make that last run at the playoffs. I myself am doing all right. I'm 2-1 last week, so still sitting in first place in all 3 leagues. Have the number 1 seed locked up in a couple divisions already, and need a W, I think, in the other league to lock up the number 1 seed. But,
Yeah. Hey,
Anyways,
right on.
looking good, sitting pretty. So yeah, week 13 is your last season of the fantasy playoff, or I'm sorry, regular fantasy season.
That's
So,
right. So things are going well,
absolutely.
and everything's going good.
Yeah. All right. How about a little shout out and thank yous on Thanksgiving today?
Yeah, a little shout out. You want to go ahead and start?
All right. Well, hey, quick shout out. So we've been working on this for a while to our buddy Jeff DiCasola for getting our logo done.
Yes.
We've been talking about this for weeks. We're going to have working on some merchandise, some hats, T-shirts, koozies, all that kind of good stuff. So our logo's done. It's up on our page. I'm sure a lot of you seen it already. Jeff, thank you very much for getting that done. So look for more with our logo in the near future.
Hey, Jeff, it's Thanksgiving, right? And a big old thank you to that because the logo turned out absolutely awesome. And I can't wait to get that on some merchandise, get it in your guys' hands, and, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd like to also put a big shout out to everybody out there. Big old thank you to you guys. For the amount of members now that we're up to, almost 450.
Yeah.
We're obviously we got our page going as well. You guys are going there. You're liking it. That's great. And we're over 100 YouTube subscribers.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Our first year doing this, 13 weeks in. Big old thank you to all of you guys.
Thank you to all of you. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, buddy. Speaking of our page, a lot of you went there already. And again, if you haven't done so, please do so. Like the page. We're eventually transforming the group over to a page. There's more things we could do on the Facebook side with the page and the group. So
Yep.
Get over there and like it if you haven't done so.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Six-pack recaps.
Let's get into it. All right. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
why not? Go ahead and start it out. Wasn't too shabby last week for me. I did a heck of a lot better than I did in previous weeks. But I'll start out with Julio Jones. Julio Jones going against the Bucs last week, and you know what? Everything looked very sexy for him to have a really, really big game. Not so much. He did get hurt with his shoulder. Ended up going 5 for 68 on 9 targets. It's projected at an 18.9. Only finished with 11 points. Not too happy with that from Julio, and fortunately, he should have had a better game than that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say my first pack of the six-pack sucked. Matt Ryan, so only 11 points. He crapped it. I crapped the bed at home against Tampa Bay. Didn't expect that to happen. In fact, he even got pulled for Schaub
a little bit there.
later in the game. So Schaub came in and stole some fantasy points from Ryan. 23 of 46, 271 yards, no touchdowns against the Tampa Bay's terrible pass defense. I was shocked they did so crappy.
Yeah, no kidding. Next for me was Tevin Coleman going against a really terrible Packers run defense.
Tevin Coleman, Johnny.
Was supposed to. We got a live studio audience today, actually, which is kind of interesting. So we'll bring them on here in a little bit. First time for us. But Tevin Coleman went 11 for 39, 2 catches, 10 yards on 4 targets. Thank God he finished with a touchdown to at least do something. But again, he was projected high, mid 16s. And finished just under 13 in most leagues. So, not kind of the production you want out of your top tier six player six pack.
How many beers have you had this morning?
Jeez, that's too early.
He's only been up since 2 a.m. or probably
only
earlier
since
than
2
that.
a.m.
All right, next dude in my six-pack, Nick Chubb. Had 24 points. He was rolling last week. 21 for 106, 3 for 58 in the air as well, which really helped pad his totals. Plus, he found the end zone. So Nick Chubb with 24 points was one of the top running backs in week number 12, baby.
That he was. Somebody I was telling you guys to stream was Ryan Griffin, tight end for the New York Jets. We finished up the bye weeks last week. Maybe you needed a tight end. Ryan Griffin didn't do too shabby. He went 3 for 13, had that touchdown, which was really nice. Finished with 10.3, double digits from a tight end, and they've been scarce this year. So that's 2 straight games right now for Ryan Griffin with the Jets, scoring touchdowns.
There you go. He's finding the end zone. It's not going to have a lot of yards. What do you get? How many yards?
Only 13.
But again, he got you a touchdown.
Got that touchdown.
So exactly. That's key.
Yeah.
So he's a touchdown or bust kind of player.
Definitely.
Yeah. You called it when he's going to get his tutty. All right. I went with the defense next. I had the Bears. Disappointing. Thought Danny Dimes would turn the ball over. They did have 1 fumble recovery, 1 freaking sack, 4 points. That's it. Just not much going on there. The Bears did get the W against the Giants, but the defense did not come through as I was hoping they would. I would expect them to get to Danny Dimes more than once. Mac did have a better game. He did have a lot of QB pressures. He definitely showed up last week. He's got a good chance to show up again this week against a rookie QB in Detroit. But Bears, 4 points. Sucked.
Yeah, not so good.
No.
Jacoby Brissett. God, going against the Texans, he, earlier this year had a fantastic game with them. 16 of 25 for a $129. Did have 4 rushes for 20 yards. Didn't have any passing touchdowns, but he did have that rushing touchdown. Finished with 14 points. Really expecting a lot more out of Jacoby against that Houston defense, but wasn't happening.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett wasn't making it happen.
Brissett!
All right, I went with the other Atlanta wide receiver, Calvin Ridley. Ridley actually did have a decent game last week because he got a late touchdown from Matt Schaub in garbage time.
Yeah.
He went 6 for 85 with a touchdown, 21 points. So Calvin Ridley did produce in the 6-pack and actually outproduced Julio Jones last week. So
Julio got hurt.
He was a hit.
Julio got hurt.
He got hurt, and actually he's questionable for tonight. So you want to make sure you're watching the latest news on Julio going into tonight's game. They haven't ruled him out just yet, but if Julio's out, again, Ridley gets bumped up quite a bit. Although, look for Lattimore too. Marshawn Lattimore on the other side of the ball is questionable too.
Yep.
So.
All right, we had Derrick Henry in my 6-pack last week. He went off 11 for a $159, had 2 tutties, had 1 catch for 16 yards, and he fumbled the friggin' ball. He lost a point or 2, but 28.5 last week. Definitely a stud on the rushing side of the ball.
Yeah. Derrick Henry's been like freight train lately. Good for him. I went with another defense of the Lions versus Skins. Not terrible. They had 8 points, a little bit better than doubled up on what the Bears did.
Yep.
3 sacks.
Kind of like we
pick and
doubled
a
up
fumble.
on you, in the...
That's enough out of you. He 8 points out of the Lions. I was hoping for double digits, but not terrible for a streaming D against the Skins. Again, we talked about the Skins. They're the lowest scoring offense in football right now. So,
Good times. Johnny, since you're here, there are beverages in there. There's Gatorades, there's sodas, there's beers. You guys are more than welcome to help. You guys are more than welcome to help yourselves. And but it's up to you guys. But to find them, they're usually on the floor in there, or in the fridge, maybe. I don't know. Anyhow, my last player in my 6-pack was Jarvis Landry. Going against his old team, I said he was going to be the main target for Cleveland. He went off exactly what I thought he was going to do against his old team. 10 catches, a $148, 2 touchdowns from Baker and company.
Yeah.
36.8. He was only projected at like 12 in most leagues, but 36.8. He was a stud wide receiver last week. Hopefully, if you guys had him on your team, he was playing for you guys.
All right. Yeah, Jarvis Landry's been hot. He's been the receiver to have in Cleveland this year, not OBJ.
Definitely.
But, moving Landry back to the slot, that's more natural for him. He was on the outside last year before OBJ got there. Slot's more natural for Landry, so he's been doing really well there. All right, last dude I had my 6-pack, Alvin Kamara from the Saints. Did okay. Not fantastic, but he did all right. He got 18 points. He got a lot of points through the air, and that's what he's going to do for you. He had 9 catches for 48 yards.
Yeah.
So just there is 13 points in a PPR league, and then 11 for 54 on the ground. So he had 18 points. Unfortunately, he didn't find the end zone. He would have put you over that 20-point mark. But 18 points just on your yards and receptions doesn't suck.
I'm still curious why you didn't have Cortland Sutton in your 6-pack last week.
Shut up. Shut up, Jay.
Oh, so
that's
I guess
our new segment.
That
Shut up,
was
Jay.
our review for week 12. And you know what? We're going to get into this week's turd dropper of the week.
There you go. Let's do that. Is it Cortland Sutton?
I could have put Cortland Sutton in the toilet seat today. I really could have. I mean, the guy only had 1 catch for 20 yards because Tre'Davious shut him down. And didn't you say he'd have over 12? You really thought he was going to have over 12?
He should have. Well,
3 points.
I forgot he doesn't have a quarterback. Elway's not playing anymore.
Jesus. I don't even think Elway would have done shit against that Buffalo defense.
Oh, my God.
But again, that's just me.
All right,
so
now
this
you're popping
week,
off a little bit.
Hey, man, he didn't do nothing in the playoffs in the AFC Championship game there back in 1993, I believe.
Still won more Super Bowls than this guy.
Oh, good Lord. Anyway, our turd dropper of the week is going to none other than Amari. He's even wondering what the hell happened. Cooper, he had 0 catches. 0 yards.
2 targets.
2 targets. He was covered by Stephon Gilmore all freaking day. I don't care if it was raining or not. I don't even think if the sun was shining, this son of a bitch was going to catch a damn thing. Amari Cooper, you are our turd dropper this week. I hope I don't regret this because they're playing today against Buffalo, but you suck,
You know
bro.
what? No, I was going to say, now he has another tough matchup. Now he's got Tre'Davious White covering him.
He does.
So, you know what? I think he maybe get more than 0, but that shouldn't be hard if he gets a catch. But I don't expect big things out of Cooper today.
The only thing that I'm not liking about today is the fact that it's going to be a lot of vanilla defenses. It's going to be playing in your backyard. The teams have not had a lot of time to
It's a
really.
short weekend.
Yeah, they're not scheming. They're not game planning. It's just go out there, be your best. And I am. I'm hoping Tre'Davious can shut him down, like you said. I mean, Tre'Davious
Yeah,
is a very underrated cornerback in the league, and he is shutting down #1 receivers.
You know, and that's what's tough with, lesser name Michael Thomas. I mean, there's been a lot of big name receivers been shut down this year.
Yeah.
Cooper, we had Cooper Kupp in there. We had Amari Cooper now.
Yeah.
We had,
Julio's getting close to getting in there.
Mike Evans had a couple shitty games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's been a handful of top-end receivers. So that's the scary thing, drafting receivers too early, right? Your running backs are guaranteed touches. The receivers, who knows? Don't know if they're going to get the ball.
Exactly. You guys want to see that turkey again? You guys all want to see? You guys all want to see that
Get a little
bad
bit of that
bird just looking at that thing smoking? Oh,
2 a.m., baby. 2 a.m. This guy was out here getting the sucker ready.
2 fucking in the morning. What the hell's wrong with
I don't
me?
fucking know. All right, how about we get into some news and injuries, dude?
Yeah, go ahead and get into some news and injuries. I'm going to go and see what some people are saying here.
All right.
Screw Dallas. I love it. Go Buffalo. Tommy, thank you, man, for that one. Happy Thanksgiving, Garrett Austin, and to, again, like we said earlier, to all you guys out there for sure.
All right, let's go news and injuries. Starting off, I have quarterback from the Bengals. Andy Dalton's back as a starter. Does it do anything for you to get you excited?
No, because you don't have A.J. Green.
Right.
John Ross, no. Maybe some Tyler Boyd, right? Maybe Tyler becomes a pretty good target right now because he hasn't been doing a whole hell of a lot lately, so that might not be too bad.
Yep. So, all right. So, Andy Dalton coming back for the 0-11 Bengals. They're looking for a spark. I guess they're trying to get a W. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Atlanta running back, Devontae Freeman. Looks like he's back at practice, and he should be back on the field tonight against the Saints.
Yeah.
Brian Hill did not do shit in his in Freeman's absence. So
Fortunately, I don't know if Freeman's going to do a whole lot, though, with him.
I don't think so either. No.
New Orleans has a really tough running defense, and they've been shutting down a lot of people, so not sure what he's really going to do against that team.
We talked about Julio Jones and his shoulder issue, so
Yep.
he's a game-time decision tonight. Keep an eye on his status. Austin Hooper, he's most likely out as well tonight.
Yeah, I believe I did see he is.
Yep. How about Minnesota? Waived Josh Doxson. So a former first-round pick out of TCU in 2016.
Yeah.
Having trouble sticking on a team. He was drafted by the Skins. Most recently with the Vikings, and he's gone. By dropping him, it's a good sign that Thielen could be back, although Thielen did miss practice yesterday. But I think they're just taking it cautious with him and his hammy. I do expect Thielen to play this week.
I would agree with you on that, which could hurt Stephon Diggs this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Indianapolis wide receiver T.Y. Hilton. So he came back last week. He didn't do a hell of a lot. Only had a few catches for, I think, 48 yards or 38 yards. Didn't do much. And he's hurt again. So he's questionable heading into this week. Pittsburgh quarterback Mason Rudolph benched for Delvin.
Benched?
Delvin
How come he
Hodges.
got benched? Mike Tomlin said, what was it?
Oh, Tomlin didn't hold back.
Tomlin
Yeah.
did not hold back. He just straight up came out and said, you know what? He hasn't killed us yet, like Mason Rudolph, basically.
Yeah, you
So,
freaking suck. is pretty much
basically,
what
he's
he
telling
said.
Mason, boy, you suck.
Yep.
And you're killing us. And guess what? Bye-bye. Go find the pine over there on the, well, it's not even pine anymore. It's
Well,
like
you know, they got the
fiberglass.
matchup against the Browns. I was looking to see who's going to swing a helmet at Rudolph this week. Apparently nobody. Maybe Tomlin's going to be the one swinging a helmet at him. I don't know. But Hodges undrafted rookie from Sanford.
The Duck.
Anybody Sanford? The Sanford Duck.
The Duck. Well, they call him Duck.
Anybody know where Sanford, where the college is?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Live audience says no.
Sanford. S-A-M.
Sanford.
Alabama. Close.
Alabama.
Alabama.
It's a little Sanford and Son.
Sanford and
right?
Son. There you go. All right. Eagles running back Jordan Howard. He's day to day. They still got Jay Ajayi hanging out there. He's an injury away from being a relevant fantasy player.
No. There's no reason to even go pick up Ajayi. No.
Who's going to run the ball? They still got Samuels. He hasn't done much. Or Sanders. Miles Sanders.
They've got Sanders.
Yeah.
And Sanders, I think, is definitely going to be their workhorse moving forward. He's a rookie. I mean,
yeah.
I like Sanders.
Okay. All right. You can go ahead and like him.
Like him better than Jay Ajayi.
Some tight end news. There's a couple tight ends that have been put on the shelf for the year. Eric Ebron of the Colts. Yeah. And that boosts up Jack Doyle's value. Anyways, Ebron's
Doyle rules!
Doyle rules. Ebron's out this year with an ankle. And then Delaney Walker also for the Titans. He's on the shelf for the rest of the year. So a couple tight ends are gone. Marlon Mack, he's still out. And Jonathan Williams is the man right now in Indy. He's had a couple good games. I want to say like 15 and 21 points in the last 2 weeks. And he's lined up to have another decent week again.
He is, but you know what? I'm still not liking the backfield in Indy. They're using Nyheim Hines. They're using Williams. They're using Wilkins. It's running back by committee. I mean, anybody could have a good game right now. So I personally am just not on that Williams.
You want to stay away from it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Hunter Renfrow, slot receiver for the Raiders.
Yep.
Broken ribs and punctured lung. He's probably out for the year. If you had him, if you were streaming him, time to drop him.
You know what he did? He did actually still play in that game for a little bit before he came out. I give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it kind of hurt me in one of my DFS leagues. If Hunter would have done what I thought he was going to do, I would have gotten into the money on that one.
I like him. He's a scrappy little dude. So that's too
Kid's
bad.
out of Clemson, man. Come on, he's a Tiger.
Absolutely. Golden Tate, Giants wide receiver. He's in a concussion protocol. So Sterling Shepard just came back, and now it looks like Tate might be out this week for the New Jersey Giants.
And also in New Jersey there with the Giants is Jabril Peppers. Their secondary already is terrible as shit, but apparently he's got a fracture in his back, and he played through it last week. Pat Shurmur's actually saying, hey, it's kind of up to him to play or not. I'll tell you right now, though, with the fracture that I saw and what it was, one wrong hit, he could be done for his career. So, not sure if he's going to be playing. Keep an eye out. Again, their secondary is not very good as it is, but Jabril Peppers out of there makes it 10 times worse, and they got the Packers this week.
Okay, well, that hurts for your if you have him in your IDP. Definitely want to get Peppers out of there. Doesn't sound like it's a good situation for him. And then James Conner. James Conner, again, he tried to come back. He shouldn't have come back. He's not ready yet. Don't think he's going to play this weekend.
Nope.
Looks like Benny Snell's the man getting most of the carries in the Pittsburgh backfield.
Jalen sucked.
Jalen sucked for a couple weeks in a row now. In fact, Jalen Samuels, I think, is droppable. Benny Snell Jr. is the man.
Like the
I think
smell.
to own.
Ooh, that smell!
You want to
Come
go
on
smell
now,
Benny? You go right ahead. I don't want any part of that. That's our news, folks.
That's the news for the week.
Absolutely. Let's move on.
And we're gonna get into what? New six packs?
Let's get some new
We got new
six-packs,
six packs coming at you guys. Holy hell! Hey, I had the giveaway going. For 2 Buffalo Jay's original sauces, and you know what? Nobody got it right. Not that I see. Now, there could be a couple more that came out.
I picked it right.
But you couldn't. Never mind. You can't even pick Cortland Sutton right now. So let's not even worry about that. But anyway.
Okay.
But anyhow, hey, nobody picked the names. I do believe there was one person that got 2, maybe 3 of them right. So we're going to get right into the 6-pack players of the week. And I'm actually going to grab.
Oh, hell yeah. That's right. Our 6-packs are kind of fancy this week.
We got some fancy dancy 6-packs with the Titties, Beers, and Tailgates logo on there.
TDs.
TDs? I said TDs, right?
You said something else.
Maybe it's a little early. We got the TDs, Beers, and Tailgates logo. I've got my 6-pack players sitting right here.
There you go.
You know what? I'm going to jump right in.
Go for it. What do you got?
Number 1. This guy right here. Who could it be? None other than Patrick Mahomes, home against the Raiders. Not counting Week 7 when Mahomes was hurt early against the Broncos. He's coming off his worst fantasy performance since being the full-time starter. He is also coming off his first game ever not throwing for at least 240 yards. In his last game, he was stymied by the Chargers. The high elevation in Mexico City, along with that turf, really got to him. Only throwing for $182. Coming off the bye, he's got the Raiders at Arrowhead, hostile environment, who just gave up 315 yards to Sammy Spleen Darnold. Raiders give up the third most points to quarterbacks, giving up 28 touchdowns to quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes is going to have a huge game this week. That's why he's in my six-pack.
All right, nice pick. Let's go with first player in my six-pack right here, New York Giants, Saquon Barkley. He was the consensus #1 pick in fantasy football. He got hurt. He's still been battling back from his injuries. The Giants suck. However, and sorry if you're all Giants fans. I don't know what fans are. Who's your team anyways? Seattle. Chargers. Okay, good. All right, so I haven't offended anybody just yet. All right, Barkley. Yeah, just wait. This shows we still got some time. Barkley against the Green Bay Packers, who was 30th versus opposing running backs. They've given up over 20 fantasy points to running backs this year. He has a good chance to do it versus Green Bay at home in New Jersey. The Packers led up the second most rushing TDs, 13 so far. I expect Barkley to find the end zone this week and get you close to that 20-point mark, if not over. Put him in your six-pack, baby.
I like it. All right, so I'm going to stick on that same game, Giants-Packers, right here. Green Bay Packers, who do I got in my six-pack? None other than Davante Adams. Adams found the end zone for the first time this year against the Niners defense, who've given up less than a touchdown to wide receivers per game. This week, he's got the Giants secondary. We already talked about Jabril Peppers being out, and they're giving up just under 200 yards a week to wide receivers. I'm looking right now for Rodgers hitting him early and often. He's going to have a big game for the Pack. I lost my train of thought. It's all good. That's why Davante Adams is in my six-pack.
Okay, right on. I am sticking with the running backs and over here with the Jets. So sticking with New Jersey, same stadium. Le'Veon Bell gets Cincinnati, who was 27th against opposing running backs. They just lit up 160 yards to a stable of Steelers running backs. They had, I think the Steelers had 6 or 7 different guys running the ball last week, total up 160 yards. So Bell should be able to pile up some yards and hopefully see the end zone again. Give me some Le'Veon Bell in my six-pack, baby.
Okay, all right. Jesus. Good. What the hell? Take it easy over there.
It's a goddamn Jets.
Bottles? Well, I guess we could replace the bottles, right?
Yeah.
Probably pretty easy with
We'll replace the bottles by the end of the show.
All right, I'm going to go on the running back train, and I'm going to hit up Josh Jacobs going against the Chiefs. Another one coming off his worst performance as that rookie Raider running back that he is. Only put up 34 yards on the ground in New Jersey last week. But KC has the worst team against running backs this year, giving up 118 yards on the ground, over 65 yards in the air, over a touchdown per game, and over 31.6 fantasy points to running backs. Look for Jacobs to get back on track, be that rushing rookie record breaker for the Raiders, and he's going to find pay dirt this week.
Okay, you heard it here first. Next player I have in my six-pack is DJ Shark, baby.
Baby
DJ
Shark. Baby Shark.
Yep. He has the Buccaneers, who is last against opposing wide receivers. Shark was quiet last week, just put up 10 points. Look for him to bounce back to get closer to that 20-point range this week, as Tampa Bay has led up the most yards and the second most touchdowns to wide receivers so far this year. So look for Shark to find you the end zone and get you in that 20-point range. He'll be a top 10 receiver in week number 13. Put him in your six-pack.
Nice. Well, I got to go against the Seahawks on this one, and my apologies to you over there. But Kyle Rudolph, my Minnesota Viking right here, He's got 5 touchdowns in the last 5 games, has found pay dirt in 3 straight. Seattle gives up between 6 and 7 catches a game, over 67 yards per game to tight ends, and they're also giving up just under 16 fantasy points to the tight end position. Thielen might be back. He could steal some targets, but I still like Cousins to find his big fighting Irish tight end and Kyle, the man, Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph. Actually, I was going to pick him, but you got your 6-pack in before I submitted mine, so good for you.
Usually.
Good for you. Yeah, us employed people.
Hey now! Whoa!
All right, next player, or I should say team that I have in mind is a good streaming defense this week. Philadelphia Eagles have the Dolphins. They travel to Miami. Fitzmagic is due for an implosion any day now. You never know when he's going to have that 3 or 4 interception game.
You don't give love give love to Buffalo quarterbacks. I mean,
he's playing for the Dolphins.
I know
he's
that, but he was an ex-Buffalo guy.
Okay, so you love all the ex-Buffalo Bills?
No, but I will say that I like Fitzmagic, and I don't think he's going to implode.
He will eventually. Beard's going to get in the way of some throws, and he's going to throw some picks.
The beard.
The beard.
Fear the beard.
The Dolphins have let up. Dolphins are the worst in terms of letting up points of fantasy defenses. They have an average of 12.6 points a game. I talked about Fitzmagic and his beard. So it's unlucky week number 13. So give me the Eagles streaming against the Dolphins this week, buddy.
He is good definitely for a pick or 2 in a game. I will definitely give you that.
Yeah.
But he can also throw 3 or 4 touchdowns with those 2 picks.
We shall see.
We'll see. Yeah, exactly. We're going to see.
People are saying the Dolphins are playing better. I still think they're crap. The Browns just beat the living crap out of them in Cleveland. The Browns.
Dude, the Browns beat the Ravens. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Anyhow, hey, my next one is going out to this guy's team, the Chicano Bears, with Tariq Cohen. Going against the Lions, been stout against the run the last 3 weeks, where they've held opponents to 86 yards or less on the ground. But where they are vulnerable is when the running back is coming out of the backfield, catching passes. They've given up just over 630 yards and 7 touchdowns to running backs in the air alone. I'm looking for Tariq Cohen to go off for Chicago this week, and all of Tariq's TDs this year, they've come in the form of in the passing game. So look for Tariq Cohen to have a huge game against Detroit, and he should be in your 6-pack.
Okay. Next player I have in my 6-pack is Jay's favorite quarterback of all time. That would be none other than Tom Brady of the Patriots.
Patriots suck. Brady swallows.
Okay.
Bottom line on that.
So Tom Brady, you know what? Stat I heard today, and actually I didn't know this, Tom Brady actually leads the NFL in pass attempts. Now, he hasn't done a hell of a lot with those pass attempts.
No.
He's not in your top 5 quarterbacks. However, he's got a chance to right the ship. 4 of his last 5 games, he has failed to reach the 20-point mark. So he's due. He's due for a decent game. He goes into Houston. Weather's not going to be a factor because they got the dome. He had a rough time in the weather last week, where it was only, I think, 17 for 36, or it was 37, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a shitty day in New England. Houston is the 26th ranked defense against opposing fantasy quarterbacks.
They are.
So look for Brady. I think it's Sunday night as well. Sunday night, what's the over-runner in this game?
They're not playing Sunday night, are they?
Yeah, they are. Sunday night.
They're not.
They got a 44.5 total here.
They are.
But Brady's got a good chance to bounce back against the Texans in their weak secondary. So give me some Brady in my 6-pack this week.
Non-stop. It's just like with
What?
Chicago, New England, Dallas. You guys are getting so many damn primetime games. It's really pissing me off. We don't get one. We just don't get them.
You played in the middle of the afternoon today on Thanksgiving. What are you bitching about?
First time in 25 freaking years.
Oh, wow.
All right, my last 6-pack player right here, Buffalo, baby, is going to go out to none other. I called it last week with Jarvis Landry going against his old team. How about Cole, all the bees, knees, Beasley going against Dallas? Last week, Jarvis, like I said, went off. This week is a homecoming for Cole. He's born in Houston, played quarterback at Little Elm High School, where Asa Lobos was the co-MVP of his district, where he went for over 1,100 rushing yards, over 1,100 passing yards. He had over 12 touchdowns rushing. He had 12 touchdowns passing. Amazing kid, right? Shit, he didn't stop there. He went over to Southern Methodist U in University Park, Texas, right? He only came up with the second most receiving yards and catches per year his junior and senior year. He's a Buffalo Bill now, right? He was undrafted by Dallas. Dallas took him. He's a homer all day in Texas, and he's going home today.
I'm going to hit the gong in a second.
Shush. He's a Buffalo Bill. He's looking to set the state of Texas on fire. The Cowboys struggled against Julian Edelman going through the slot, and with a short week, not a lot of game planning, look for Cole Beasley to have similar numbers to Julian Edelman last week. That's right. I said similar numbers to Julian Edelman. 7 to 9 catches, 75 to 90 yards. He's going to find pay dirt. He's going to jump in the red Salvation Army bucket. Not Ezekiel Elliott. I'm telling you right now, Cole Beasley, the man. Put him in your six-pack.
And now Jay has set the record for the longest six-pack intro ever.
Definitely the
Took 13 weeks, but now we have it. Cole Beasley will be the jersey that you should be wearing next week.
I don't know if I can get one in time. We'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I don't think it's on back order like Gardner Minshew.
Gardner!
All right. Last player I have in my six-pack. Here we go. A little love for the Seahawks here. Seattle Seahawks. DK Metcalf. Rookie wide receiver. He did a couple key drops last week, unfortunately, but now he comes home against the Vikes. Minnesota Vikings are 29th against opposing fantasy wide receivers.
This is true.
Metcalf still gets tons of red zone looks. And you know what? He only has 8 less targets than Tyler Lockett, the number 1 receiver.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah. So, they're really kind of like a 1A, 1B. Metcalf and Lockett are
Is
both
Lockett still the number 1 wide receiver?
I don't know.
After last week's performance?
I don't know. Well, as I said, Metcalf had a key drop in the end. He had 2 big drops, I think, last week. But
I need
he's been
sorry, I'm getting off track.
He's been really good in his rookie year. So I like Metcalf to get me somewhere in the 15 to 20 point range this week. Holding on to that football against the Vikes. Give me some Metcalf in my six-pack, baby.
And that wraps up our Week 13 six-pack. I like it, Brian. I think a lot of the guys... Jesus, can't you even put it back right? No. Hey, I like it. I think it's going to be great. And
I do, too.
It's going to be a good week. It's Thanksgiving week. It's going to be a good week.
I can't wait.
What are we getting into next?
How about some true-false, dude?
Oh, God, a little true-false action for you guys. Hey, like we do every week, I'm going to give 3 to Brian. He's going to give 3 to me. We give 6 of them to you guys. How'd you do last week?
Shut up.
I know. Well, I'm in the same boat as you last week, so I'll start it off and go, hey, you know what? The one that B-Rye got right over here was the New Jersey Football Giants. They've given up 95 yards to wide receivers this year. 195 yards to wide receivers this year. I had said, hey, could the Chicago Bear wide receivers get over 180 yards passing, right? And they did. Receiving. They did. And you know what? Between Allen Robinson with a $131, you had Anthony Miller with 77, and you had Taylor Gabriel with 19 and 227 yards
Who's not playing
receiving. Today? He's not. But you know what they did? They torched the Giants as they did. You thought it was false. I was right on that. Well, you were
whatever.
wrong. Whatever.
Exactly. I was wrong. You were nothing.
It is definitely too early to be drinking. Damn.
No, it's a good way to start the day. All right. First one I gave you was for your hometown Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen.
That was a quick one.
We talked about Josh Allen.
Yep.
Would he get 17 points or more against the Denver's third-ranked defense against opposing QBs? Jay said, yep, that's going to happen, and he was right. Josh Allen got 21.
Again.
21. So there you go.
Josh Allen's averaging.
That's one that Jay got right last week. There's only one. But anyways, go ahead.
That's fine. Josh Allen's been putting up over 20 points a week. He is a top fantasy player right now. You do have to play him each week. I'm sorry. You do? You do.
He's close to the top. Is he top
Unless
10?
you have Russell Wilson and Josh Allen like I do, and then you play Russell Wilson because he is one of the best fantasy quarterbacks in the league,
Allen's
not named Lamar Jackson.
Allen's number 7 right now. There you
So,
go.
my next one I gave over to this monkey was Aaron Rodgers has never faced. That's right, I called you a monkey. Aaron Rodgers has never
going.
faced a team 9-1 in a 15-year career. He went against the 49ers. Could he put up over 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns in that game?
He sucked ass.
He said, no, not going to happen. I mean, of course, it's a Bears fan, right? He's not going to ride that train. He was right. Aaron Rodgers, 171, 100 yards passing and only 1 touchdown. Terrible performance by Rodgers, which is why I do like him this week against the Giants. It's a make-right game for him.
Yeah.
But good call on that.
If Trubisky could put up 270 against the Giants, Rodgers should put up like 470 against the Giants. Rodgers only had 11 points in each of his last 2 fantasy games.
Yeah.
So
This is a make-right game.
He's due
It's
to
a
bounce,
make-right
he's due
game.
to bounce back. All right, next question for Jay was about the Browns. They had a big spread, 10.5 against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Would they cover that 10.5? Jay said false. It's not going to happen. And actually, it was true. The Brownies won by 17 last week against the Dolphins.
That last touchdown at the end, I was ticked.
Yeah.
I was ticked because I thought I was going to have it, and then boom, right at the very end of the whatever.
That shit happens.
Last one for this guy over here was Denver, right? Would Denver fall to the Bills and Buffalo double them up the way they have the last 2 times? Buffalo's put up 66 points against Denver the last 2 games where Denver's only scored 30. What happened? What was that final score?
I don't know. You're boring me.
20-3 was the final score. They didn't double them. They damn near 7 times that ass. And you know what? Sorry, Brian, you didn't get that one right.
Yeah, no. Broncos sucked. All right, the last one you had was Mike Evans versus Chris Godwin.
Yep.
And who's going to have more points? We said that Godwin will outscore Evans and move ahead year to date versus Mike Evans. They only had a 5-point differential going into last week. You said that's a big fat false. It's not going to happen. Evans was going to have the better game. And Godwin went off, and Evans was held in check.
He did.
So the difference, Godwin had 38 to Mike Evans 9 last week. A huge difference between those two.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, so a little bit. So, all right. That's that for last week's True False
It's new
wrap
True False.
Up. Let's get in some new True
Let's
True
get
False,
this going. We're going to
questions
get you
here, pal.
guys ready. We're going to get out of here. We're going to carve this turkey. Got some people we're going to invite onto the stage here with us. So,
Yeah.
hey, first True False. I'm giving it to you. All right?
You want me to lead off?
No, I'm going to lead off.
Oh,
Is that all right?
Be my,
There you go. The 49ers are the second best team this year against running backs, giving up an average of 84 yards on the ground, 26 yards in the air. Can Mark Ingram go over 115 total scrimmage yards against the San Francisco 49er defense this week?
I wasn't listening. No, I'm just kidding. Can Mark Ingram go over 115? Was that my number?
It's probably why you thought Cortland Sutton was going to have such a big game last week. You weren't listening.
150 total. Where's the game? Is it at Baltimore? It's at San Fran.
We are in
San Fran, unless you set up the helmets wrong.
Jesus. I may have. No,
No, it's at Baltimore.
It's at Baltimore.
It's at Baltimore. You did. You're backwards.
Hey,
all right. So, anyways, at Baltimore at home, 115 total yards for Ingram. I'm going to say, yeah, he can do that.
I like
It's going to happen. Ingram is doing really well this year with the option and everything else, and they got to keep a backer or 2 on Jackson.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's very doable for Ingram to get $1.15 or more.
Very nice.
All right. First question to you. You have correctly picked the week when the Pats and Niners would get their first loss this year.
Yep.
Will the Bengals against the Jets get their first W with Andy Dalton coming back? Is he going to give them the spark for the Bengals to get their first W of the year? True or false, the Bengals win?
They're in Cincinnati, right?
They are in Cincinnati versus the Jets.
Jets suck. And Andy Dalton will get that W.
Okay.
Coming off his benching. I like it. So give me a big old true on Cincinnati.
Bengals
getting their
win,
first
true.
win.
Okay.
All right.
Go for
which one do I give you next? I'm going to go with this one because I've been talking about him all show.
If it's Cortland Sutton, I'm
Cortland Sutton was held
gonna
in
punch
check last week with the one catch for 27 yards. This week, he's got the second best defense against wide receivers. The Chargers, where they give up to... Wait, am I right? Yeah, I'm right on that.
I know what you're talking about.
Chargers, sorry. They're giving up an average of 128 yards in the air to the position. Can Cortland Sutton be a viable asset for Brandon Allen and score 15 or more fantasy points this week?
I don't know. How's the Chargers secondary? Are they any good? You don't know? You're not feeling confident?
I like this guy. He's
So,
saying nope.
All right. I'm going to say Cortland Sutton is going to get me 15. You're saying, right? Yeah, you think so too. All right.
Okay.
I'm going with the audience here, and we're going to say true. Cortland Sutton's going to get
True.
15
All right.
or more
All right.
against the Chargers. Okay? All right, here we go.
I'm not going anywhere else with that.
Mark it down, bro.
I don't have my pen.
All right. Next question at you. As projected in preseason, Travis Kelce and Zach Ertz would be the top 2 tight ends, and right now they are. Kelce has outscored Ertz 8 times this year, and now against Oakland's 28th ranked defense versus tight ends. Zach Ertz faces Miami's 17th ranked defense with a really banged up Philly receiving core. Will Ertz outscore Kelce this week?
That's a very, very good question.
I know, because I came up with it.
I do think Kelsey's gonna have a pretty good game, only because you know what, you got Tyreek Hill. He's hurting with his hamstring. Sammy Watkins, he's like a piece of glass. He's always getting hurt. So I kind of like Travis Kelce in this one to outscore Zach Ertz this week.
Okay. So you like Kelce over Ertz.
I do.
So this is a false. Give me another question there, pal.
All right. Last year on Turkey Day, the Bears defense had 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, had a touchdown against these Detroit Lions. They also held the offense to under 335 total yards. Today, they got a third-string quarterback because Detroit loves Chicago so much that they want to go ahead and give him a second stringer and then a third stringer, like almost back-to-back, right?
David Blah.
I can't even... The name. David Blah.
David Blah.
David Blah.
I will give you, unless you heard it already, I'll give you $1 if you can tell me what college you went to.
No. Can they hold...
Purdue. Purdue.
Oh, damn it. I did know that.
All right.
Can the Bears defense hold the Lions team to under 300 yards, and can they score double digits in fantasy? It's a little two-part.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I like it.
Say it's true.
I
it's
like
going
it.
to happen. They got a rookie quarterback. They got their third string quarterback, third string running back. Although both scoreballs look pretty good so far.
I don't think Bo's going to do anything against
Bears
the
have a good run D. The Bears defense. Last week they didn't do it. This week
like
they have
that.
a great opportunity to feast against the Lions on Thanksgiving Day.
I like it.
I see it happening, buddy. All right, as we like to do, I'm going to give you a homer pick for yourself. Okay.
Sure.
Buffalo
Bring it.
comes into Dallas, their first game on Thanksgiving in 25 years.
Good God.
In that game, 25 years ago, Buffalo's defense held the great Hall of Famer Barry Sanders to 45 yards rushing.
Oh, I think I know where you're going.
45 yards.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, the Lions, who also play today on Thanksgiving, held Zeke Elliott to 45 yards rushing. Will the Bills hold Zeke to 45 yards rushing or less today?
All right, so back in 1994, we had Bruce Smith, we had Cornelius Bennett, we had Darryl Talley, we had one hell of a defense. Not to take anything away from what we got going on right now in Buffalo, because we do have a good defense with Jordan Phillips up front, Jerry Hughes on the ends. Can they hold Zeke to 45 rushing yards? Not total yards, rushing yards.
Don't forget Dallas's O-line's banged up.
I understand they're banged up. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. Buffalo has been vulnerable against the run lately. They have turned it on the last couple weeks a little bit, but they're still giving up some big yards to the running backs. They're best against wide receivers. They're second best pretty much against the tight ends. They're very good against quarterbacks. When it comes to running backs, not so much. So no. I am going to say they will not hold him. It pains me. To say
Zeke's
this.
getting more than 45 today.
But he's going to get more than 45 today. Okay. But he's not going to jump inside the Salvation Army bucket because that's reserved for Cole Beasley.
All right, there you go. That's your true false for week number 13.
Oh.
Let's move on. That's enough of that shit.
I gotta stand up, man. I'm sitting. It's cold.
I want some food, dude. We have some people here that might be a little
I know.
hungry.
We want food. We're ready for food.
Let's get into it.
I tell you what. Let's get into a couple of game previews. I'm gonna pull it off. I'll start carving.
Start doing what you do.
And we'll start divvying it up to the people over here. We got a live audience again. This is great.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring them in here actually in a little bit as well.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But let's get right into it.
Okay, then let's go into our first game of the week. Were we going Thanksgiving last or first?
Thanksgiving is last.
Okay,
brother.
So we will talk about non-Thanksgiving games. Let's go Tampa Bay visiting Jacksonville. The Jags are laying 1 point at home against the Bucks. We got a 49-point over/under, so Vegas is expected to be a pretty high-scoring game.
High-scoring game.
I talked about my love for DJ Shark this week against the Bucks secondary.
Do you got love for Nick Foles?
You know what? That's a great question. You know what? If you have Nick Foles, if you have injuries or whatever, there's no more bye weeks, right? Byes are done.
Byes are done.
If you're struggling with injuries or something, if you have Nick Foles, if you stashed him for some stupid reason, this is the week you're going to play him. Play him against Tampa Bay. This is the week you want Nick Foles in your lineup. So this week I do like me some Nick Foles. What was I going to say? I'm distracted by the meat.
Right. Come on. It's
Leonard
not
Fournette.
too shabby.
You know, I like me Leonard Fournette this week and every week, of course. Ronald Jones has emerged as a running back to have in Tampa Bay.
He's coming along. He's coming along very,
week.
very nice.
Godwin and Evans, flip a freaking coin. You know, again, they're both stud receivers. You're going to play both of them, obviously, but I can't tell you who's going to have the better week. You never know.
Right.
I don't see. You know, the Jags still got A.J. Bowie. He's a pretty good cornerback. You know, I don't know who he's going to be lined up against. But, you know, again, flip a coin as far as that's concerned.
You know, as far as the Jaguars go in the Bucs game, beware. I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you're looking for Leonard Fournette to get you guys over the hump and into the playoffs, beware. Tampa Bay is third best against running backs. Watch out for what they're going to do. Leonard Fournette might not have the game you're hoping that he's going to have. Other than that, I like a lot of the Jaguars on this one. I mean, Tampa Bay is
so you can see
the worst team against wide receivers. They're second worst against quarterbacks. They're second worst against tight ends. I like a lot of the Jacksonville players in this one. Mm-hmm. But Leonard Fournette, beware. That's what I've got to say on that one.
One more guy to mention in that game is Jameis Winston. Winston turns the ball over a shitload. However, he also gets his fantasy points. He's getting you in the 20. You know, he's throwing for a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards to his two stud receivers. Unfortunately, he must be colorblind or something because he's thrown a shit ton of interceptions this year. But Winston is somebody you can start with confidence this week. Let's move into
a nice turkey leg.
Holy crap!
Come on, man.
All right, next game we're going to talk about San Francisco going into Baltimore. Really good matchup. In fact, a lot of people are calling this a Super Bowl preview. Baltimore is laying 6 at home with a 46 total on this game. Obviously, Lamar Jackson has been a fantasy stud this year.
Yep.
Mark Ingram has done really well.
Yep.
Hollywood Brown found the end zone a couple times last week.
Yep.
What do you had the Jackson 5. He threw 5 touchdowns last week. Mark Andrews had a great game. So, you know, those are your guys that you're playing on the Baltimore side of the ball. San Fran, you know, the guy who's surprised me the last few weeks, Deebo Samuel. The last 3 weeks in a row, Jimmy G has found a really good rapport with Deebo. And Kittle came back last week and had a great game.
He didn't fantastic game.
He didn't practice yesterday, but I think they're just taking it easy with Kittle. They're going to manage his health going into in fact every game going forward. But I think Kittle's a guy you can start with confidence as well. Anybody else you're loving in this game, Jay?
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I am. I am loving Lamar Jackson. Look, San Francisco, we all know, has a fantastic defense. They have been shutting everybody down. They lead the league or are second or third best in almost every category. But Kyler Murray, not 1 but 2 weeks playing against San Francisco.
That smells fantastic.
Ran for over 60 yards. He's thrown for over 200 yards. Kyler Murray's not Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is going to go off on this team.
Woo.
I'm looking for San Francisco to get their second loss this week, and Lamar Jackson's going to roll. And I do believe Mark Ingram is going to be a very good play, even though they are solid against running backs.
You're saying they're going to get their ass kicked.
Lamar Jackson, I do believe San Francisco is going to go ahead and kick their ass.
I was actually surprised that the line was 6, so you're thinking it's going to be more than 6.
I do. I honestly, honestly, I believe Baltimore will win this game by 10 or more.
Okay. Let's go on to the next game. Minnesota Vikings visiting the Seattle Seahawks Monday night. I want to say this is the second year on Monday night that they've second year in a row that they played either Monday or Sunday night. Primetime game for the Vikes and Seahawks. Last year, I want to say it was like a 14-10 game. I only know that because I was in Vegas and I had money on the game.
Nice.
On the over-under. Anyways, Seahawks are laying 3 at home. 49 points is your over-under. We talked about that. I'm liking DK Metcalf this week. Him and Lockett are pretty damn close in targets this year. Russell Wilson has been one of your top quarterbacks, so obviously you're going to play him. You got, who else you got? You got the tight end from the Seahawks, Hollister. So he didn't do much last week. People are hoping that after his bye week, after his good game the week before, that he would do well, but he didn't do a hell of a lot. Only had 6 points, I think. So Hollister wasn't a fantastic play. Minnesota, we talked about Jay Love and Kyle Rudolph in his 6-pack. We got Kirk Cousins. We got Thielen coming back. Dalvin Cook obviously is a no-brainer. Actually, another point to mention is the Seattle Seahawks backfield situation. So Carson's been having a little fumbleitis, and Rashad Penny got some action last week. And Penny actually found the end zone, too, on a decent run.
You know, Rashard Penny did get a little bit of love from Pete Carroll this week. And, yeah, Chris Carson had the fumble and what have you. But, honestly,
People want to see the birds.
I am not looking for Rashard Penny to do a whole heck of a lot in this game. I do believe Chris Carson is still the workhorse for the team. Pete Carroll likes to play some games once in a while. You know, look for Chris Carson to be the better play this week.
Yeah.
These two teams, I'm going to tell you right now, match up very, very, very well. Quarterbacks, they're 18th, 19th. With the tight end position, 22, 29. Where it's going to be hurting is going to be running back position right now. And I do believe Dalvin Cook is going to have a really good game against this Seattle defense. But watch out for Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson, honestly, is the guy you got to be playing this week. And I'm really hoping for Tyler Lockett to please put up the numbers you've been putting up earlier, because I'd like to win my division this week.
All right, let's move on to our Thanksgiving Day games that everybody's been looking forward to. Our first game, we talked about quite a bit already. We got the Bears going into Detroit.
Guys like legs?
North.
Oh, yeah.
You want a turkey leg?
Yeah, I'll take a turkey leg.
All right.
This guy wants a turkey leg right here. Hey, real quick, before we get into Thanksgiving Day games.
Yeah.
Let's bring you on over here
Let's
real
do
quick.
that.
Come on over here. I'm going to let you come inside real quick. I would shake your hand, but unfortunately, they're a little greasy.
But mine aren't, so I will shake your
nice to
hand,
meet
sir.
you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your
problem.
service.
Nice to
And
meet you as well.
come on in here a little bit closer. And your name?
My name's Martin, but my last name's Rodriguez. That's what I'm known as in the military. I'm a machinist mate. I just finished my A school, and I'm going to be stationed in Yokosuka, Japan.
Oh, right on.
Okay.
Awesome.
My son is currently stationed in Okinawa.
Okinawa.
He's a United States Marine.
Nice.
And you know what? He's actually going to be coming home, though, in February, which is nice. But good luck to you, man.
Thanks.
It's not bad out there.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So you want yourself a turkey leg.
Yeah.
Dude, there's 2 of them there. You take your pick. Enjoy however you want it.
I'm just thankful for the
Come on
warmth.
this way.
You want to say a little thank you to anybody that might be watching out
your
there?
friends and
Your
family.
friends, family, whatever. They might not be watching, but it's okay.
Well, you can direct them to it.
I will say thanks to my dad. San Diego Chargers fans. I'm from San Diego, born and raised. So, they're unfortunately not San Diego Chargers anymore. They're
They will forever be San Diego to me, though.
Exactly.
I've screwed up some enough
Exactly.
times.
So, got love for the team. Got love for my dad. So
Wonderful. Awesome.
shout out.
And again, I would shake your hand, but my hands are a little greasy.
Oh, yeah, here.
Fantastic.
We'll go left.
We'll go
That's
left.
fine.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Your name?
Andre Quintana,
Andre Cardano. And where are you from?
California.
California. California. Right on.
It's a big
All
state.
right.
Where?
LA.
LA. Okay.
Okay.
Right on.
Okay. And you're a Seattle fan.
Yes.
Okay. All
I've
right.
been
I
to
like
the
that.
stadium and I love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing up there.
Wonderful.
12th
Wonderful.
man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep,
What
that's the thing.
are you doing currently in the Navy?
Right now I'm in schooling, but I'm engineering.
Okay. Okay. And are you going to be going being stationed anywhere that you know of?
San Diego.
San
Oh,
Diego.
really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Pendleton,
Wow.
that area, right?
Pendleton, 29 Palms or
Nice.
Pendleton?
Yeah.
Pendleton. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
29 is a little bit further up there.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Very nice. Good for
That's
you.
awesome. Good for
Thank
you.
you for your service, man. I
Yes,
truly,
thank
truly
you
appreciate
both for your
that.
service. And as Jay mentioned, he has a son who's a United States Marine.
Yep.
As do I.
Yep.
My son is coming home today from Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. So actually, he lands in about an hour or so. So looking forward to seeing him here for the holidays, and I'm glad we're able to have you guys here and have our good friend John and his family host you guys for this Thanksgiving
John,
Day.
want to thank you, buddy, over there. Do you want to come in here and say a few words too?
No, I embarrassed myself. I will take some turkey though.
Yes, yeah. No, this is not a problem. I'll go ahead and keep slicing up for you guys.
Yeah,
I'll have
yeah.
you guys just squeeze on out real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you again.
All right.
Oh,
Thanks.
yeah, Jay's,
Truly, truly
Jay's meat is
appreciate your
fantastic.
service.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you.
Crazy, man.
It is. It's a little chilly. It's a little chilly. All right, we're gonna keep carving up this turkey.
It's
We
a
got
little
just
chilly.
3 more games to get into, and then we are out of here. You guys can go ahead and get ready for the games. Hopefully that Macy's Day Parade is over, right? You enjoyed some time with us tonight, this morning. Not tonight.
Yeah, well, maybe later tonight after you're, laying on the couch and the tryptophan kicks in and everything else, you're watching the replay tonight.
There you go. There you go.
All right, let's get into our Thanksgiving Day games. Bears, Lions. Again, we talked about them a little bit. We got an FC North matchup. Of course, they're both bottom feeders in the FC North this year. The Lions starting a third-string rookie QB out of Purdue. Looks good for the Bears D. Hopefully, they can take advantage of that. They're also starting off for the second week in a row. He's done well, but I expect the Bears to bottle him up. Jay loves him some Tariq Cohen.
I do like Tariq Cohen this week.
And hopefully Trubisky could do what he did last week against the Giants. So the other note, as we mentioned, Taylor Gabriel has got a concussion, so he won't be playing this week. He'll up in his workload. So that's the Bears, Lions. Anything else? Again, with the third-string quarterback, Lions receivers, Kenny Galladay, unfortunately, Marvin Jones Jr. They're taking a little hit with that third-string rookie QB.
They really are. I do not like, honestly, anybody for the Lions this week.
No.
I do believe that the Bears are going to roll. Is it going to be because of Trubisky? Truly don't think so. I do believe Tariq Cohen's going to have a good game. Maybe David Montgomery, I almost said Adam Gase. If Matt Nagy can maybe do something on the head coaching side of the ball and give him the ball,
Yeah.
he might be a good play, but I really am not liking a lot of the other guys.
All right. Bears are laying 2.5, 39 points over under, so they're expecting the defense to struggle in that game. Next game we have is the afternoon game. We have our Buffalo Bills going into Dallas to face the Cowboys. Cowboys are laying 7. We got a 45.5. I'm sorry, it's 45 straight up. Total on that game. We talked about Zeke. Jay's thinking he's going to surpass that 45-yard benchmark that we set in our true false. Dak Prescott's been one of the top quarterbacks this year, and so is Josh Allen. So you got 2 good QBs playing in this game that you should be starting on both sides of the ball. Defensive-wise, Buffalo's D I think I like better than Dallas's D for sure.
Buffalo's been very underrated this year, and believe it or not, they are the 3rd best defense in the league. And I'm optimistically scared. You know
Cowboys
what?
are 20.
Buffalo on the
Cowboys are 20.
Yeah. Buffalo is, honestly, they're not big on the national stage. We all know this. They don't get a lot of love. Josh Allen against New England had some happy feet. He got a little scared in that game, I believe. I'm hoping this is not too big of a stage for him being in the national spotlight for the Thanksgiving, the only afternoon game. I'm a little nervous, but at the same token, there's been no game planning this week. I kind of like the young kids and that veteran defense that Buffalo has going up against Dallas. So
Yeah.
that's hey, I'm looking forward to it. 8-3, 9-3.
good game. Yep.
Oh, come on, baby. And Jason Garrett, sorry. I'll see you next year on a different team.
I agree. I'm surprised. Again, Jason Garrett has to have pictures of Jerry Jones burying dead hookers somewhere.
Something.
He's gotta have
Something.
because there's no way that guy keeps a job that long with that team, with that budget. Yeah, no way. Anyways, all right. Last game of the week that we have showcased was the third game tonight. We have New Orleans going into Atlanta. Last time these guys played, Atlanta shocked everybody. Excuse me. The Saints are actually laying 7 on the road and a 49-point over-under on this game. So Vegas is expecting some big-time scoring, which I normally do when the Saints and Falcons play. Two dome teams battling off on the fast track on the turf. Everybody's expecting New Orleans is going to get a little revenge against the Falcons, especially since the Saints have a healthy Drew Brees. Michael Thomas has been an absolute monster.
Beast. Beast. Period. Beast.
Yeah. And Kamara, maybe Kamara does find the end zone this week. Again, he did well with 18 points without finding the end zone. Maybe he does find that end zone this week, gets you over that 20 hump. And then Atlanta side of the ball, they're having some troubles. We mentioned Hooper. We mentioned Jones is, hurting a little bit. Freeman's coming back, but we're not expecting much from him. So, without a lot of weapons, Matt Ryan, I guess, downgraded. Ridley gets upgraded because he's probably going to be the main weapon on the left side of the ball.
Yep. And beware of Freeman. Beware of Freeman this week. Sure, he's back, but you know what? New Orleans is the 6th best team against running backs fantasy-wise. Yes, they give up some points, but not so much to the running backs. I'm not liking Freeman in this game. Definitely. Drew Brees, he's looking for some revenge. Watch out for him. I think he's going to go off on the national spotlight tonight.
Yep.
It's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to be a fantastic day.
Absolutely.
And hey, big old cheers to you guys. That wraps up our show. Week 13 is in the books. We're growing. It's turkey. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And you know what? We were thankful enough to have a couple of guys from the Great Lakes Naval Base right here in Great Lakes, Illinois, join us to have a couple turkey legs. And you know what? Life is good. B-Rye, take us on out of here today. Go Buffalo, baby!
Go Chicago! You know what? Again, we're thankful for our fans. We're thankful for the show. We're thankful for living in the wonderful country we do. We're thankful for the servicemen who protect our right to do things like this, and in our freedoms that we have every day. We live in the greatest country in the world.
Damn right.
So we're thankful for that. And this is my favorite holiday: food, football, family, friends. It doesn't get better than this. I hope you enjoyed the show. We know we enjoyed having you guys. So with that,
Hey,
we
cheers. Big ol' thank you,
man.
Big ol' thank you. Big ol' yeah, buddy, guys.